Welcome back to DeepSeek. We're now talking about David Bohm, a famous quantum physicist who introduced to the world a unique quantum theory called wholeness and the implicate order. I highly recommend that you read it. There's a book by that title. And today's topic is more of an extension of that theory into dialogue. Bohm viewed thought and dialogue as emergent. Quote, people are participating in a pool of common meaning which is capable of constant development and change. Dialogue is really aimed at going into the whole thought process and changing the way the thought process occurs collectively. We haven't really paid attention to thought as a process. We have engaged in thoughts, but we only pay attention to the content, not the process itself. If we ran machines without paying attention to the machine itself, they would break down. Our thought, too, is a process and it requires our attention. Otherwise, it's going to go wrong, end quote. He is proposing that by society mistreating thought and dialogue as being reductionist and separate, it has led to the social conflicts that we have today. A great many people think they are thinking when they are merely rearranging their prejudices. I love this quote because it really highlights that we're just shifting around our truth in a way that we can defend it through a conversation and walk away being the winner. Not growing from the conversation, not evolving, not using the other person's truth as a synergy mixed with our truth to grow something greater, to expand the walls of your house of truth. A key difference between a dialogue and an ordinary discussion is that within the latter, people usually hold relatively fixed positions, and they argue in favor of their views as they try to convince other people to change. At best, this may produce agreement, maybe even compromise, but it does not give rise to anything creative, end quote. So as a result, Bohm proposed an approach to dialogue with an emphasis on two things. One, on listening, and two, suspending your culturally conditioned judgments and impulses to argue, to open the door for you to learn and grow and integrate something greater than the truth that you entered the conversation with. He saw this as imperative to the continued survival of the species. You think about how wars are started on this planet and how conflict continues to exist, arguing our points of view. And we do it over and over and over. And if you remember, Einstein's definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. We're doing that every day. All these arguments that you see around you on Twitter and Facebook is not resolving anything. And here's another quote. It is proposed that a form of free dialogue may well be one of the most effective ways of investigating the crisis which faces society today, and indeed the whole of human nature and consciousness today. Suppose we were able to share meanings freely, without a compulsive urge to impose our view or conform to those of others, and without distortion and self-deception. Would this not constitute a real revolution in culture? I would summarize this by saying, don't associate who you are with what you think. You are not your thoughts. You're not your belief. You're not the truth that you surround yourself with. You are not that house of truth. You are what resides within it and moves within it and evolves within it. The moment you associate who you are with your thoughts, you inadvertently defend those thoughts. Another way I like to look at it is within this ocean of consciousness where everything is connected in some way. We are each taking our cup and we're dipping it in, and that water that fills our cup, we're then walking around trying to convince everyone else to drink from our cup as if it is the single source of truth. And everyone has a different cup and everyone dips into the same ocean. And that's really what Bohm is trying to say here, is that we need to look at the way we interact in society and our thought processes as being holistic. And that will lead us to conscious evolution. I'll leave you with a final quote from David Bohm. Quote, "We transform as eternity unfolds in us, but that eternity may also transform as it returns to itself enriched by our participation. Eternity is unfolding within us. It's making itself known, solidifying into different aspects of itself as it ripples to the surface, and those ripples are interacting with one another. They're not at odds with one another. They are interacting and they're synergistic. And that eternity itself is also transforming because it's being realized in the physical sense that we experience here on this planet. And then we are taking that back within ourselves into the ocean. So when you interact with other people in society, go in with your beliefs suspended, open to expanding your belief to that ocean of truth. Thanks for watching DeepSeek. If you like this channel, please hit the subscribe button and the like button below. I appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.